Hello and welcome to Zelda Speedruns, bringing you another Link to the Past No Major Glitches tournament race. It is Winners Bracket Round 4, seat number 15 mooglemod versus seat number 29 on Yok. On commentary today we have Dao, TMB and Tanvir Faraj. Say hello guys.
Hey, hi everyone.
Yeah, so this should be a pretty good one. We're getting a little bit deep into winners bracket here, so we're definitely expecting good times. Both of them PB'd in the past week, so
yeah,
should be cool.
Yeah, definitely both of these guys on top of the game, so I'm very excited for this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Couple of things. Both of them have PB'd recently. Now, I haven't watched much of Yok myself, but Moogle I've watched a fair bit of. And for him, it tends to either be a really good run or 8 disasters. And I haven't really seen much else from him. But we really hope not to have any disasters today.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely looking for a great race. No huge things messed up, and yeah, just overall great gameplay. Both of these guys are definitely capable of that. Yok also tends to have these pop-off runs, and sometimes things do not go too well, especially when he's very far ahead of his splits in especially Light World, for example, getting into Dark World, Zero Blue Balls and stuff. He sometimes tends to get a little nervous, but yeah, they're of course both great runners. So I'm hoping for a great match.
Yeah, and we start off with the greatest split in the game. And if your hands don't hate you when you start this split, they will by the end. So
yeah, definitely. Yok, after his new PB, is sitting at 126.35, so he's just a little over a minute behind Moogle when it comes to their PBs, respectively. So they're still kind of close.
Yeah, 1 minute is, it feels like a lot when you're playing the game, but it's so easy to have 2 or 3 minute time losses.
Yeah, this game is definitely very punishing, and I mean, we could even see a minute of difference just from blue balls and really bad cannon warps, or maybe other RNG parts that you do not have perfect control over, but definitely there's more than enough room to show in this game. With great knowledge and great skill, you can overcome most of the bad RNG and still pull off great times.
And yeah, there's like a lot of just tiny RNGs. Like one thing, they both handled this blue keyguard well, but the way that the keyguard actually, how quickly it runs into your spin is RNG. So if you play it really aggressively, sometimes you don't actually get the spin you want. But both of them did it nice and safe and comfortably there, so good job. Seeing 8/ from Moogle, 1 pot, 4/ from Yok. 8/ you can tink the guard a little bit. Sometimes you get hit doing 4/ 1 pot as well. Honestly, getting out of that fight without without taking 2 hits is generally okay.
Yeah.
And early on, we don't expect too much separation. We see a couple of seconds here just because Yok had a slightly worse first key guard and slightly worse ball and chain, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's escape. Like, basically the difference between a great escape and a really bad escape for these guys is at most like 5 seconds, maybe, when it like catastrophe happens apart from like dying, it's maybe 10. So there's not a whole lot of potential to lose a great deal of time in this split compared to most others. But yeah, we still definitely do not want to lose any seconds or even frames here if we can.
Yeah, and Moogle took a hit there in the green guard hallway. A lot of what we're doing in this is trying to react to RNG, and it's going to be faster to not boomerang the guards, which is probably what Moogle tried to do there, but also, you know, a lot of times the fast strat is harder than doing the safe strat, so just messed up a tiny bit there, took a hit, lost a little bit of time. Yeah. It's like, we're talking about a 10 frame difference roughly between strats a lot of the time. And just whatever works, right? That's all we're looking for.
Yeah.
Oh, nice damage boost from Yak to get past the snakes. Does put his health a little bit low. Gonna have to be careful about not taking too much damage. Shouldn't be too concerned, but we'll see.
Yeah, it looked great though. I don't think I've seen it on like that RNG yet, so definitely nice to see. There's like always new things you see in the speedrun of this game. At some point you think you've seen everything or you know things about the game, and then you watch 10 more runs and yeah, you see 20 new things you've never experienced before.
And a lot of it's just because there is so much RNG in the game, you never really see all of it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think Yak was going for rat frames there, except if he had taken that hit, he was gonna die. So
yeah, was probably wiser not to do that.
Luckily, we are going to get a health refill right here, so I don't think he had half a heart because he took a hit from the bat and then he took a hit from the snake when he was on 1 heart, I think. And so the bat didn't actually lower his health. Maybe I looked at it wrong.
I think so too. I didn't see him lose any health when he got hit by the bat, so I think that's probably a fair assumption there.
And honestly, it's a good thing we get this health refill because this overworld, you're gonna get hit. Okay. Just like looking at the Octoroks, they spook me every time.
Yeah, I mean, they don't look too harmful, but they still deal 1 heart of damage if you touch them, so I definitely do not want that to happen. Especially in Eastern Palace, we do want to keep our health relatively high because there will be the damage boost we'll be doing in that dungeon. So yeah, we do not want to take any damage in the overworld during the split if we can. But like 1 hit is fine most of the time, doesn't lose too much. Yeah, generally in this game though, you do not want to go out of your way to pick up refills or safeties too much.
Yeah, and even though most of them, like individually, aren't that much time loss, like for instance, this heart's about 4 frames to pick up. What tends to happen is that when you do safety strats in rooms, you just do the rooms differently.
Yeah.
And so, excellent Stallfos room from both of them, but a lot of times doing the room differently gets you killed more often than just doing the room. So yeah, definitely don't want to take too much incidental damage if we can help it. I'm not sure which blue rupee that is for Moogle. I think the first one in the pack.
Yeah, I want to say it's the first one.
I know Yock's on the second blue. Oh, nope. It's the second blue.
Ooh, okay.
Gets the red. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know Moogle is going to be doing tree rupees, so he's fine for rupees for the rest of the run here.
Yeah, Yok definitely is doing the same.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And there's why we want to keep our health. Sometimes that big key boost you don't actually take, you don't get it the first time for no reason. But because his location looked good, but oh well. And that does cost a little bit of time too. It's like almost a second when you get the second try step on the switch. Ooh. What are these skeletons doing? Get out of here.
Wow. The Popo tried to block for his buddy, the Igor, but did not manage to get in the way of the arrow, so we're fine on that side.
Yeah, these last couple of rooms in Eastern here are really heavy on the RNG. This cannonball's totally random. Zelda Gamer Room is... Oh no, please. Not going the way you want for either of them. But Double Red Igor's goes excellently. Moogle did not get an arrow drop. Unfortunate. Doc got 1, so he's going to hopefully be looking pretty good on arrow count after finishing this fight. Just going to take 18 arrows. Not walking down enough. Okay, good. 1 extra for the wall, but at that point probably was just trying to ensure that he got the kill, right? So
yeah. Like especially I can feel that if you don't walk far enough down and your arrows shoot out a little slower than you're used to, you will probably start to yeah, well, maybe press a couple of times more often than you usually would, so just to make sure that you actually get the kill.
yeah.
A little bit of panicking maybe, but yeah, that's totally fine. He's definitely fine on arrows.
Yeah, the big goal with arrows is we want to leave the Land Molus fight with about, I forget the exact number, 9, I think, 8, something like that. So where Yock's currently at, we're going to pick up 20 in Desert. That gives him about 20 to use on Land Molus, which means he can miss like 8 or so, and only needs to hit 12, so don't have to be too accurate. On Moogle's side, if he doesn't get any backup arrows, that's going to be a lot tougher.
Yeah.
Yeah, both doing true rupees as expected. So here, Yock needs to find a few more rupees, hopefully. But nothing too concerning. Moogle going for the spin speed saves about half a second over doing what Yock's doing right here. Executed well, which it was. Nicely done. Grabbing the book, which is what we need to get into Desert, and then we're going to Desert.
Yeah, Desert Palace definitely also one of the dungeons, or especially its boss, where RNG does matter, and it can get a little tricky to get the kill fast if you get like very poor RNG on the boss, but I think guys are very decent at the fight, so I'm hoping both of them will manage to get the free cycle. Or better, perhaps.
Better. Yeah. Although, I mean, it has been done 1 cycle, but only in practice.
Yeah.
2 cycle is like the reasonable upper bound, and we could see some really good fights with a 2 cycle, but still a lot of times you need the RNG to go to your way. Moogle started mashing before he read the book to the tablet, so losing a little bit of time there. I think we've all been there, right?
Yeah.
Fired an arrow at Saha, or you've actually looked at the tablet instead of reading the book, that kind of thing. We're just so excited to mash the buttons sometimes.
Nice poke dash strats by both of these guys.
And with that miss bonk, we
Yep.
see them tied back up.
That's great to see these runners like being in sync.
Oh, yeah, dashing through the Popo, or dashing through any enemy actually, affects your ability to slash the sword afterwards. So Moogle probably pressed the slash button to hit the Popo, but the game doesn't accept that input for a little while, and instead just walks into the Popo.
Yeah, and with that, York is in a little bit of a lead. So just a couple of seconds here.
Now, I did pick up 5 rupees in Circle of Pots there. Ideally, we'd like to get up to 14, but we don't actually need any rupees from drops. We have enough in our way. Just does make the first set of trees, or the first tree pull rather, kind of obnoxious. Ooh, first miss menu of the run. Hoping not to see many more of those.
Yeah. Hate to see it.
Pretty good RNG from both of them, and handled well. Slight variation in strats. That one that Moogle did was actually found very recently, within like the past month, maybe a little bit longer than that now. Walking under kind of eliminates RNG in that room, which is nice. And good luck, runners. Just barely missed that shot. A little late on that on the outside. But look like he's in a good position here. Oh, nice 3-cycle from Moogle. Oh. Is he one slash away? No? Oh.
Oh.
Keeping track of how much damage you've done is so difficult.
He probably... I didn't quite catch it. When this happens to me, I most of the time deleted like the damage of one arrow shot with a slash or something.
Also, yeah, I didn't quite catch it because I was trying to watch both fights, but a lot of the time in the fight, you're trying to keep track of how much damage you've done to the 3 worms. Sometimes they spawn in a different order than you expect. Sometimes you just miscount because it's hard to keep track of everything.
Yeah, it's very rough. It's a tough fight, and there's RNG you have to react to. There's like the different movements the worms can actually do. You have to time your arrow shots like very, very well to actually get as much damage in as you can. Sometimes you will also have to go for slashes and decide what to do on the fly. So it's a very, very tough fight, and it can happen. Yok was also on a very great pace and is still ahead of PB for that matter. So even though he, I think, needed 2 more cycles than Moogle to close off the fight, he's still also in a very good shape.
Yeah, and honestly, he's in a pretty decent position here. Moogle's a little bit low on arrows.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yok's a little bit low on money, but money's actually faster to get back than arrows. So It's going to cost both of them about a second, maybe a little bit more on Moogle's side to kind of rectify those. Unless we do happen to get some nice drops from the mini Moldorms. But, okay, those Dead Rocks tried to get in the way on Moogle's side.
Yeah, you still hate to see it. Like, every time there's a Dead
Oh,
Rock.
that is... Oh, no.
Oh, no.
That's the
Yeah.
one RNG that looks like it's okay to slash, because they're going to get in your way, and then when you slash, they stand right in the middle of the road and you can't get past them.
Yeah, Dead Rocks are the worst enemies in this game. York also dropping a little low on health on that mountain, also needed a couple of tries for the spin speed. So not the greatest of overworlds he's had so far, but yeah, he should still be fine with regards to health, and yeah, we'll have to make up a little bit of time here on Moogle.
3 Hearts and Hera is not the danger zone just yet, but you start to get a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
Is Death Mountain a room? I mean, technically.
I mean, it's not connected to rest of the overworld by, let's say, regular screen transitions.
And now that we've already, you know, taken care of the best splits in the game, we have the best room in the game right here. Followed by the actual worst room in the game. Please, hold rooms.
That happens to me every time.
Alright, hopefully Yak does not take 2 hearts of damage in this room. Oh, dashing through. Let's try to be a little bit safer. Okay, didn't take damage. A little bit of trouble with the beetles here on Moogle's side, but nicely finished.
Yeah. Also, room I find very, very hard. Like for me, I have to practice it a lot to even get it in practice, and then in runs I still mess it up. But yeah, both these guys having a little bit of trouble, but yeah, they're still fine. Well, compared to what I do in that room anyway.
Nice bomb jump from Moogle.
Yeah.
Was setting up to bonk, recognized he was on the right pixel anyway, didn't bother. Nice double fire.
Oh. You're opting to get the extra hard.
Waiting on the spark there, just wasn't sure about the timing. Better safe than sorry, probably. Moldorm here. 6 hits to finish up this boss fight. The real danger is falling off. Oh, oh, okay. Oh, okay, but we got through it. Moldorm, how did that slash connect? Hello?
We're not complaining, right? Any hit, yeah, because that's also what happens a lot of the time. You get like frame rule trying to dash through Moldom and just randomly get knocked away, take some damage. So getting an unlikely slash in, definitely something we can definitely live with that. So let's see if Google picks up the arrows here from this cave. Yeah. Yok, unfortunately, having a little bit more trouble with the spin speeds during this run.
Spin speed sucks. It's a frame perfect trick. Never works.
Yeah. Also, that bird right there dropped the 5 arrow drop for Moogle, so he will unfortunately not be getting that.
Which is doubly unfortunate because he is so low on arrows. And yeah, so the reason why they're shooting that bird is to get 4 kills on enemies, dashing through another bird, dashing through that crab. We're going to kill one more enemy on the way out, so that when we pull this next tree, we get red rupees, so we can get over 100. Now, I know Moogle, I'm pretty sure Moogle is not getting Mushroom in his PB attempts, but since this is a race, I wonder if that'll change at all. I don't expect him to, actually. It changes the menus a little bit. It's just like a mental thing, right? So, yeah, skipping it here just because it's what he's used to, which in a tournament race is what you want to do, right? Keep it consistent. Don't do anything crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
On York's side, I don't know. So we'll find out.
He will probably pick it up, yeah.
Grab it.
I think he always does. I'm not quite sure if he did already drop it, but he definitely, like a couple of weeks ago, he still was going for it and was thinking about dropping it, but I think for the tournament, he still wanted to keep it.
Yeah, it makes sense. If you're used to having it, like we just mentioned, do what you're consistent with, right? Do what's comfortable. Yeah, it'll just give a little bit of extra safety later in the run, which is where it matters the most. Okay. A little bit of issues with the ball and chain, but Moogle knows how to clean it up. Did use an extra arrow when he was already a little bit low, so...
Yeah, we might see him maybe try and save a couple of arrows on some red guards later on in this dungeon. But yeah, we'll see. We definitely want to have more than 6 for Pillars of Darkness. And, well, anything more than that is always welcome.
Yeah, actually, looking forward a bit, I think he's okay on arrows. Unless he misses one. I think.
Oh yeah, right.
No math on stream. I can't do it. Yeah, having to fight that guard, kind of in an awkward spot there. I think it's technically possible to walk around on that RNG, but like, good luck. So yeah, here we're gonna see our use of arrows. Oh, nicely done in that room. That is the fastest strat. It's very tough to do.
And still has sword beam, so he can.
Ooh. Oh, he didn't get hit there.
Where?
Right.
Oh, okay. Also, very nice RNG here too.
That guard quick turn. What in the world? How did y'all get hit by the guard before you could slash? This game never stops surprising you. Guard with the huge jukes. Oh, gets a little bit away from him here, but don't take too much damage. Good. Yeah, that bad RNG is hard to make sure to boom the top guard correctly so that you can throw 2 pots into the bottom guard, which has the key here, but a couple of slashes will clean it up.
Yeah.
Into the Aghanim fight. Oh boy. Yeah, very engaging.
Yeah, definitely one of the more boring boss fights in this run.
I would Say one of the more boring fights in all of video games. The only thing that gives us any excitement is how much time are we going to lose today. Unusual, not getting the amount you want to get. That's for sure. Neither on the upside. But yeah, 4 blue balls is about 30-second time loss for the runner. But ultimately, since they're racing, it only really matters compared to what Yuck gets here.
Yeah, and I totally did not manage to count.
2 or 6. One of the two, I'm not sure.
It's
2, okay.
probably 2, yeah. I was gonna say, like, judging by the difference in time.
Yeah, close the
Runs
gap a
having
little
right
bit.
now.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, well now we get to the actual fun parts of the game, and they're fun because if you mess up, you die.
Yeah. But apart from that, I also think they're actually a lot more fun.
Well, I mean, this split for you is, do you think we're going to see any hovers from either of these two guys?
Well, I'm not expecting these guys to go for them because like they're very close and yeah, it a lot can go wrong. You definitely, like, for example, do not want to take a Moldam fall or anything. I'm expecting these guys to at least be somewhat close also towards the end of the run, so yeah, you don't want to do anything you don't do in your runs normally. I know who can have, I think Yok cannot, but yeah, I'm not expecting him to.
Yeah, getting through that maze is like a little bit concerning because if you do get hit, you have to go back and get Kiki again. But we've done it enough. We know the movement to get through, to most of the time not get owned. So into Palace of Darkness, no problems. Just not where we even expect most of the disasters to strike outside, but inside here, Hammer Jump, which we'll see in about a minute, and the boss, Helmsor King.
Yeah, definitely. I think Helmsor King, starting out playing this game or the speedrun, I think that was the first point where, well, my runs died a lot. So there was a great hurdle to get over learning this game, for me at least. And I think it's still a very tough part of the game. So we're getting into Dark World, very, very low on health still. Also cannot take any extra damage before the boss, or we will die in 3 hits, which can easily happen, especially if you get like bad patterns on the boss, which also usually happens if you do not manage to get the fight done quickly enough. So we definitely want to get our hits in as fast as we can.
Yes, and up for Hammer Jump here looked like 1 pixel too high. Sword buffer down 1 to set it up. Excellently done. Oh, takes an extra hit, which isn't that big of a deal, but kind of annoying.
Yeah, but still easy to back up. No major problem here.
Looks good. Gonna place the second bomb. Looks a little bit low. Also excellently done. Just a couple extra buffers. You're never going to complain about that. But yeah, the Helma fight, when you're first starting, like you mentioned, it's impossible. And then you can kind of do the fight, and you're like, yeah, this fight's not too bad. And then you go, wait, I'm losing 20 seconds in it. And you try to go fast, and then you start dying again. So, like,
Yeah,
Helma's scary.
definitely.
Moogle taking a hit is unfortunate. Also gonna slow him down a little bit because he won't be able to beam the crystal switch in the upcoming room. Nicely done on Yock's side there.
Yeah, both of them I think... Oh no, we'll have to pick up extra arrows, never mind. So only Yock getting another arrow drop, so yeah, he's also fine on that side. Didn't need to get an extra, well, pick up a skull for extra arrows or anything.
And at least one thing is going to behave in this dungeon is turtles on Moogle's side. Now we need Helma to behave too. See how Yock does on turtles here. Nicely done so far. Nice finish. Excellent.
Yeah.
Moogle not opting for the spin speed, it looks like, which I know he's been doing this fight for years, so he's been doing this particular strategy for a very long time. If you're comfortable with the sword out, then it makes sense not to change your strats, right? Especially since adding another spin speed can be kind of tough. But taking a few hits here. Helma?
Oh.
Okay. Alright. We're out. Yock also taking a bunch of damage. Helma, please.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we've talked about it. It's a very, very tough fight, so... Phew. Glad.
Yeah, getting fireballs is actually only 50% chance, I think, but I swear it's 98% chance.
Well said, yeah. I agree.
And yeah, the hardest part about that fight is once the mask breaks, Helma is swinging his tail and spitting fireballs and moving about 4,000 miles an hour, so keeping track of everything is just really difficult. But we're out. No more Helma ever again. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Now we're going to move on to an easy split here, which is Thieves Town. And while a couple of really gross things can happen in the overworld, they typically don't. And the dungeon, you don't typically take too much damage in. So it's a bit more relaxed. Obviously, trying to do it fast, you run into the issue of having to react to all of the RNG very well, but very rare to see any huge errors in this dungeon.
Yeah.
Although that hammer dash is one of them.
Yeah. For me, still the overworld of the split is kind of tricky. So I do happen to make mistakes more often than I like to admit. But yeah, both you guys definitely doing great job so far, and I think we are mostly done with all the rough stuff. Only one more spin speed coming up shortly, and yeah, after that we should be fine.
And Yock threatening old Stumpy there with the hammer. Give me the shovel, please.
Hey, they didn't even need 4 digs to grab the flute, which is nice.
And yeah, despite this split being one of the easier ones, it is also theoretically the longest split in the game. So there's like a lot to learn still. It's not easy, it's just easier.
Yeah, and I mean, starting out, this can also be a very, very tough split, especially with the Hellway and Blind fight. Of course, for these guys, Blind won't be any problem, and they will probably also be able to react to the RNG and Hellway accordingly. But still, there's like some parts where you can get bad RNG, some Zezex just randomly moving into your way when you're jumping down a ledge or something, but it usually is still fine. You don't take too much damage, and for experienced runners, I think this is a very, very consistent split. But still starting out, I think it was one of the, well, depending on RNG, parts that can also get quite tough.
Yeah, like you mentioned, sometimes you will just take unavoidable damage if you're trying to go quickly in this split. Sometimes it also just adds up. We still only have 8 hearts here. It's not like we've got a ton of extra health lying around.
Yeah, that's right. Also, quite some enemies that will deal 2 hearts of damage. Just, I think there are no enemies that deal 2 hearts of damage apart from the Helmoser King inside Pillars of Darkness itself. On the overworld, of course, there are, but we usually do not get hit there.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, the Zazex here, which is these dudes just walking around, will do 2 hearts, whether they shoot at you or walk into you. For whatever reason, the crickets also do 2 hearts of damage. I don't know who designed that, but
those are the worst. Yeah, but once you learn to be confident and just go and mostly ignore them, only very specific RNG that you actually have to react to, then you're usually fine.
Fortunate Hellway on Moogle's side. Yawk had a clean Hellway but missed the pixel, but both through there with only a few cuts and bruises, and not too much time lost.
Yeah, I think that's good enough for a tournament race for both of them. Especially considering how bad things can go once they start falling apart in that room.
But yeah, then we're gonna see in a little bit here the basement, which is generally not too bad, but we have a bunch of Zazex that just like to walk right in front of us and do 2 hearts. So Yawk there switched the hammer to read the RNG in that one room. That's something you'll see a lot of, is where runners choose to put their menus. We've seen a few differences so far. It can help with menus, it can help with movement. Sometimes you just want to do the menu, so you don't worry about either of those things as well. And they're picking up the Titan's mitts. The main reason we do this dungeon second in Dark World, it'll let us get the Tempered Sword early, which makes the rest of Dark World much more manageable. The Master Sword is kind of bad.
Yeah. Especially for the mob fight that will be coming up. Well, the next split.
Okay. Spin is always a little bit dangerous if you get one you don't want to. Yep, and that's why we're slightly off. So Moogle's gonna have to play a little bit more off the cuff. Handled nicely there.
Yes, it looked really nice. The ring, he had to go a little freestyle there. Still very, very nice fight, and also didn't lose too much time from Blind moving around wildly.
And yeah, still a pretty close race here. Yeah, well, We're done with the easy splits. Nothing left is easy. And trying to get an idea of the time difference here, and it is less than 10 seconds. It looks to be about 7 seconds or so.
Yeah, that's really, really close.
So yeah, here we're just going to pick up a few rupees, and by a few I mean 600, and the tempered sword. And then we're good on collecting stuff for this split at least.
Yep.
Hey, he's not blowing the entire stimulus on flippers, right? He still has a little bit left over. We still got 100 just lying in the back. And that bonk was a bit unfortunate, but kind of controlling your dash off the stairs is very difficult. Which is why we see Yawk just walking up and down them. Keeps it simple.
Yeah. I also find it very hard. Like once you are dashing on the stairs, it's like very slow. I think slower than walking off stairs, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you start dashing on like the regular ground, and it's suddenly so much faster.
Yeah, seeing a couple bonks here. Controlling the dash is just hard. Sometimes you misread it, sometimes you don't get the movement exactly like what you want. Each one costs a little more than a second, so not the end of the world if you get a couple, but you really don't want to get them.
Yeah.
And now...
Oof.
Will mummies cooperate? Not really. Kind of. Definitely. Oh, no. Well, was able to farm an arrow drop out of it. So that's something. Is that too far to the... No, I think that's good.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Alright, well, round 2 went well. Fortunately, round 1 did not. And here we're seeing another bomb jump. This one a lot easier than the hammer jump. Mikkel wasn't confident in the pixel, so bonked over there, which kind of widens the range. Well, not kind of. That's what it does. Intentionally falls, walks through the ropa.
Oh.
What is... I am not sure I've seen them escape like that.
Yeah, me neither.
Alright, well, the health situation here is not great, but it's not terrible. Gonna be able to take a couple of extra hits on Moth if we need to. Can take a hit here if terrible things happen, which they will not, opting for a little bit of a safer strat. Through Mummy Hellway easily. Slash this guy, steal the key. Yawk with a bit of a more difficult strat, but gets through. And 4 hits here. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Good fight, though.
Yeah.
Maybe just started that dash a touch late, so that got hit by Moth when on the dash up, which is kind of weird. Getting a little bit less favorable pattern on Yak's side here. Nice poke dash. Nice fight.
Nicely done.
Oh, okay. Well, at least now we're okay. Probably coming up here on Ice Palace, which is, in my opinion, the last split where I get maybe a little bit nervous about just messing up, because messing up on Ice Palace is pretty brutal and really punishing.
Yeah. Also very, very tough dungeon. I think it's probably the overworld where I tend to use the most of the time, especially in Zora's domain. Plus the dungeon itself, it's just dangerous. There are tons of enemies that deal a lot of damage, plus the boss itself, which, well, yeah, it's cold there. We've seen catastrophes happen there.
Nice shield block on Moogle's side.
Yeah.
It is actually faster because it lets you start your dash sooner. And it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks so cool.
Most important part. And yeah, honestly, the main goal of this overworld is to not take damage. And we haven't so far, so that's good. So yeah, now we're going to blow almost all of our money here. We can still afford a big bomb if we really wanted one. But we're going to get flippers. $500 to swim on like 4 screens. Doesn't really seem worth it, but sure.
Yeah, definitely not the best deal. But then again, I'm also not too versed in Hyrule's economy, so there might be very, very short supply and high demand, as Link goes so far out of his way all the way to Zora's domain just to get a pair of flippers.
And I guess, I mean, it does make sense that Link needs flippers to swim, right? How much gear does he got on him right now? It's so much. Uh-oh. Ooh. Swimming impossible. Swimming around warp portals, doubly impossible. So,
Yeah.
getting through. Gonna opt to wait because, yeah, that Zora was probably gonna hit him. Yeah. But, yeah, through the overworld, no damage taken, so that we can beam that.
Oh,
jelly.
that was dangerous.
Okay, and then Yak kills all of the enemies there, which is ever so slightly slower because it opens the door behind you, kind of freezes the game to do so. But it also means that the last jelly won't be in your way, so upsides,
Yeah.
downsides.
Also, using the fire rod for the last jelly like mooglemod did also gets me real scared of triggering, like, is it still considered the jingle glitch? I think so, yeah. When you go through the door into the next floor of the dungeon, on the same frame the other door opens because you defeated the last enemy in the room, which causes all the enemies, including the crystal switches in the dungeon, to despawn, which, yeah, well, is not good. You definitely will have to mirror out and do the first 2 rooms again.
Yeah, now Moogle has beams here for Pengator lineup, which makes it tougher, but gets through nicely. Excellent. Ooh. Oh no. Ice Palace bomb jump is tricky.
Yeah.
But we're through. That's all that matters. Our health situation is not good, but I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I think so too. Bombs are also kind of rough at this point. I'm not quite sure where York usually does his shopping, but he will probably pick up an extra bomb in Swamp Palace.
Okay. Seeing a single poke on Moogle's side. This looks good. 1 slash will finish it off. Nicely done. Alright, we want to see that fight on York's side.
Yeah.
Three hearts means pretty much any hit means we're doing this whole dungeon again. Alright, 8 fire rod shots. I'm gonna set up this spin. 1 poke. Fantastic.
Nicely done.
Now with a couple of errors on Yuck's side, like we mentioned, Ice Palace tends to lose a ton of time. That does open up the lead a little bit here for Moogle. And we're going to see Ether. I don't know if Ether... Let me math on stream. It looks like just Ether, according to the splits. And this is why Death Mountain is being rude.
Yeah. Standing Death Mountain is also one of the hardest things to do in this game.
Farm in the bushes, probably looking for a fairy, but hearts are nice too. Now, also going for Ether Medallion here. Does have an opportunity to make up a little bit of time if Death Mountain will behave, which, why would it?
Yeah, I mean, it was somewhat better, but yeah, definitely not perfect with the boulders crashing down on him right when he was charging his spin speed.
Yeah, that movement there from Dark Side might have looked a little bit weird. I was trying to set up a quick warp, but hard to control. Dashing Link, especially spin speed Link on the diagonal, so didn't quite get the quick warp, but it's okay. Now, one of our goals in Swamp Palace here is to get up to 21 arrows, but there's only 10 we can pick up, so Moogle's still going to be short on arrows. Which, yeah, he's been short the whole game.
Yeah,
you just never really get caught back up.
Kind of a recurring theme at this point.
And yeah, I think they're both going to do the same route here. Ether in Mire, Ether in Swamp, Ice Rod and Turtle Rock. So, oh, okay, missed the first guy, able to quickly clean it up. Did he? Oh no, he had blocked that shield, blocked that spear before? That looked weird.
Doing crazy strats, deleting the left block. Never seen that before. Level block, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the left block. A lot of rooms, what tends to happen is you watch other people do it and you kind of copy what they do, but for a lot of rooms, you know, you can do things slightly differently at literally no cost or exactly the same. And for instance, in Swamp, going left or right in that damn entrance doesn't matter. But yeah, Swamp, it's fun, I guess. I actually do think it's kind of a fun dungeon. I don't know, it's like...
Yeah,
but to talk about why it's fun, I'm sure would bore most people, so... we just won't.
Yeah, for me, Swamp is probably the hardest dungeon outside of GT. Because there's, well, all the water physics or the shallow water where you actually have to be even more careful to maximize your dashes, or it will be more punishing than on the regular ground. Also, lots and lots of RNG. Many enemies that can get in your way and will. Definitely during a run they will.
Just like that on your
side. So yeah, I tend to not do a ton of runs back to back, or well, have some pauses between my runs, and every time I get back into Swamp, I've probably forgotten about all the different RNGs that are in there, so I will usually just try to wing it in some way, and usually you lose a ton of time.
Yeah, it's just like lots of small things here and there.
Yeah.
Especially, just like you mentioned, reading the enemy RNG, knowing what they can do a lot of the time is tough, because a lot of these enemies have, you know, like the Stolfos have limited RNGs. They walk, and then they look where they're going to go, so pretty easy to react to. But the Tektites and the berries don't really behave in that same way, so there's a lot more you have to pay attention to.
Yeah.
And then we will have probably the hardest boss fight to consistently do quickly at the end of this dungeon. Yeah, if anybody's got tips on Argus Zero Cycle, please share with the class, because it's impossible. And yeah, Moogle doing the smart thing, which is just trying to stay at the top wall, but getting hit for it twice, because Tektites do their own thing. And here we're going to see the Zero Cycle attempt. Oh, unfortunate. Didn't walk down enough. And, okay, Moogle, get out of the corner. Alright.
Yeah. Also, what can happen is what we saw on Moogle's side right there. You get into the super speed state, or the armed state, and can't slash your sword. That's why Moogle also, tried to hookshot a couple of times and did not actually kill the puff.
Yeah, it's a tough fight.
Yeah, definitely.
And just kind of not blowing it after you've blown it is also really hard. Yeah, so Yawk not even trying for it, which is totally reasonable. It does require pressing 3 buttons on the same frame when you first start, so a little bit tricky. Excellent Fire Rod quick kill there.
Yeah. Also, even though he did, well, go for the one cycle Argus fight, it also looked very, very nice, very clean. Was inside of the circle of spinning puffs and hookshotted outside actually to grab one of those puffs a little earlier. Looked very, very cool.
Okay, this crystal catch could be better. We haven't talked about them at all. We are not in the text, so it could be worse. Oh no, Moogle flew to the wrong spot. That's I forget exactly how much, 8 to 10 seconds, more than you like. Trying to navigate the flute menu quickly is non-trivial, and when you try to go fast, you will occasionally end up in the wrong spot. And here, the main reason why we do no collection in Mire is because we want to have beams for this second room, which was handled nicely by Moogle there. And yeah, another reason why is because we're going to intentionally take 1, 4, 9 hearts of damage in this split. So you really don't want to start the split down too much.
Yep.
Now, I do think for most people, Inside of Mire is one of the more consistent splits. Because you take so much intentional damage, you have to kind of get really comfortable with it in a hurry, or you will die. So I'm really not expecting anything too crazy to happen here. And Moogle's already passed the most dangerous enemy in this split, the Bomb Slug in Conveyor, so probably okay.
Yeah. Also on York's side, if like things go really, really bad, he at least still has his mushroom and can use it to fake powder before the boss. But yeah, let's hope things go right in the first place.
Yeah, and I doubt he's gonna fake powder if he's on, 7 hearts or something, so...
Yeah.
Now, we do have an option here of not doing Spark Gamble, and not taking hit. Moogle is gonna go for it. It saves, right around a second. So, once you're comfortable with the dungeon, you'll see people go for that quite a bit. And you did get a very nice boost there as well. And then here we're going to take another 3 hearts by walking on these spikes for this key. It's pretty fast. The other 2 keys that we can get in this dungeon are pretty slow, so the 3 hearts is definitely not as big of a deal.
Wait, you need an extra key in this dungeon?
Yeah, there's the one on the bridge, which costs, I think, like 10 seconds, and then the one in the main lobby, which is like 15 seconds, so.
Ah.
If you're desperate for those 3 hearts, you can get those, but also if you're desperate for the 3 hearts, you should probably get powdered.
Yeah, or just hover the bridge and then you won't have to bother with the key or parts. Which, by the way, is actually faster. I myself, didn't even have the idea to do it that way, but Yuzuhara actually got a couple of world records in RMG doing it, and also PB'd in in NMG with hovering the bridge, and also
Okay, well, now we might be in trouble. Oh, that lightning didn't hit him. Okay.
Oh, this is a rough fight for Moogle now. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Oh. Oh, you hate to
Yes,
see it.
so we do have a setup for that fight, but Moogle just barely missed the first spin, which kind of messes everything up. This is about a 2-minute time loss, assuming it goes okay from here on out, which we certainly hope it does. And here we're seeing on Yak's side what we intend to do, which is spin all of the eyeballs. When you get thrown off a little bit, please. Okay. When you get thrown off a little bit, the cycles get all messed up, and it's hard to continue to set up spins because the way that Yak did it actually completely ignores all eyeball RNG. But once the fight gets a little out of control, you got to worry about eyeball RNG again. So
Yeah. Okay, let's see. I hope Moogle remembers he does not have to flip the switch, the first crystal switch.
which is the hardest thing to remember.
Yep. We're going for spooky.
Yeah, now he does have a spare bomb just in case, but it is nice to have it for the ice rod screen because... Alright, it looks like he did remember. Excellent. Let's see. Oh, Moogle!
Oh.
Yeah, the Zols do 2 hearts of damage. And I'm not really sure why.
Yeah, they are like the friendliest looking creatures in this entire game.
Moogle typing in chat is not what I want to see right now. Okay. Oh. Yeah, it's just so hard when you get to this fight down a little bit. And like, it's painful. And we mentioned earlier that Moogle didn't get powder because, or sorry, mushroom, because it's probably not something he would typically expect to need, right? Of course, this is kind of the downside. When things do go off the rails, having a little bit extra safety is nice.
Yeah.
And racing in tournament is just a whole different beast from just playing the game.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you lose a run, well, you can reset, start a new one. In a tournament setting, there's of course a lot more pressure. You can see your opponent is right on your tails, and yeah, when things go wrong, it can be quite rough on the nerves. But still, Moogle is, still keeps going. So,
I mean,
anything's
as
still
punishing as
possible.
it is not over yet.
Yeah.
We do have to get through Turtle Rock here, which has claimed its fair share of victims. Being everybody that's ever played this game.
Yeah. Does the explosion, the reactivation of the Samaria block also break the spooky action glitch?
It does not, no.
Okay.
At least, I don't think so. Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Moogle through the basement this time. We'll hopefully get to show off a perfect viddy fight. Right here. Not quite perfect, but we are going to get through it. Nicely done. The arrow situation not looking great on Moogle's side now that we've used a few extras than we wanted to. Maybe losing a bit of focus, which is understandable. Broke the crystal. It's fine, we don't need it anyway. And yeah, he will have an opportunity to get enough arrows, but it's just an uncomfortable amount, basically.
Yeah, he's definitely, well, that's not the greatest thing he does have to worry about right now. He will have to play, yeah, very well for the rest of this run. He has, well, before this Vitreous fight, unfortunately, did take 2 deaths there. But is trying to crawl his way back into this race, and, well, it's a link to the past, anything can happen.
Yeah, like Yolk almost messed up Pokemon there. Did smartly menu to the Fire Rod when he saw that he messed up a little bit. Oh, please, dude. And that's why you want the extra bomb for Ice Rock Cave.
Yep.
To get hit from the fireball.
Yeah. Luckily it was the fireball, not the pokey.
Yeah, while we are through the most dangerous rooms in Turtle Rock, we're not through all of the danger. Still have Laser Skip here, especially going for the squeeze there and not quite getting it, taking 3 hearts, and Moogle gets blocked. This game can really pile it on sometimes.
Yeah, Death Mountain has been really rough in this race.
Here we're going to see Laser Skip on Yolk's side, which I'm not anticipating will go poorly, but nicely done. And one last challenge in this dungeon is going to be the boss himself, Trinex. On 9 hearts and full magic, there's almost 0% chance something goes wrong here, but I do know this can be a tough boss for a lot of people. So nice backdoor strats, which are a little bit faster. Mostly they're just more consistent than front door. I think that's the wrong item. And it is just incredibly hard to finish runs when, you know, total disaster like this happens. Hard to stay focused, hard to care, right? So yeah, honestly, props to Moogle for continuing this run. I probably would have forfeit already. We're getting the fairy. We are a little bit low on magic on Moogle's side, but we are going to be due a full magic drop. And Chomp's not behaving. Very typical.
Yep. So one of the rougher, more NMG heavy rooms in this game.
But yeah, now Yok is off to Ganon's Tower, which, you know, it does kill runners, but much less frequently than, say, Mire or Turtle Rock. So, kind of the worst we expect to happen here is you get beat up and you lose about a minute to RNG, but you don't die, probably.
Yeah. Also, I know from York that he typically picks up the mushroom for GT, or actually to prepare for the Ganon fight once he makes it upstairs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I think most people struggle a lot more with Maya, who still pick up the mushroom as a safety. But York specifically, I think, is very comfortable and feels confident in Misery Maya and just wants the refill to have a better feeling for the Ganon fight itself. Usually also doesn't mess that one up, but just to, get into the fight with a lot more health to work with. Also very nice.
And yeah, GT is honestly a bunch of pretty tough rooms here. A lot of them maybe don't look too challenging, but doing them quickly, as with most things in this game, is a different beast entirely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a very, very hard dungeon to do fast. So yeah, we've talked in the beginning about escape and how a poor versus a great escape can maybe lose 5 to 10 seconds. Right here, when I look at these runners, it's usually more of, I want to say closer to a minute of time that I lose against them. Whereas in escape, maybe it's still just 5 seconds.
Yeah, and we're seeing Ice Armos here. Nicely done. Extra arrow, but we have plenty, so it doesn't matter.
Unfortunately, did lose some magic though to the anti-fairy, so he will have to be a little careful with that.
Yeah, and the thing about GT is that you say you lose like a minute to these guys. Even take like world record runners lose almost 40 seconds to, what is theoretically possible in this dungeon.
Moogle is fighting the pit once more. Oh. Well, at least you proved me wrong.
Going for a few hovers here, trying to keep it fun. Sometimes that's all you can do. I gave it a few attempts, decided against it. And here on York's side, we're entering the Gauntlet, which is one of the more challenging parts of GT.
Oh no.
Some days the game doesn't like you. This is one of those days for Moogle.
Okay, let's see what he decides to do now. Okay, nicely done by York, clearing out the gauntlet. Hate and quit. That's not what we do in this category, is it?
Oh, Moogle is also doing things we don't do in this category. Moogle's tired of seeing Turtle Rock. Wants to see parts of the video game that are fun. So, going to do a few things not allowed in this category to get into GT here.
Yeah, that's one way to get in, and I totally understand what just happened, so that's good.
Yeah, York is having a pretty solid GT here. Probably would have talked about it more if it was going really poorly, but seems to be going fine. Waiting on the jingle there so he doesn't accidentally get jingle glitch.
Yeah, that's my secret. I always do the torches so slow. I'm never in danger to get the jingle glitch.
Now here, York has too much magic, so I guess is feeling comfortable with his situation. So picked up the mushroom, didn't need it. That's better than the other way around.
Yep.
Tricked by Moldorm. Never happened to anybody. But through the fight here, nicely done. Ooh, a little bit early on that hook.
Yeah. I think York also tried to stay a little bit higher on the screen, just to still have the, or be able to see the Moldorm explosion, to be able to time the hookshot a little better, but unfortunately did not get it perfectly on the first try. But also a small little trick that can help, I think, if you are trying to also hook really, really early.
Yeah, if you're going for like a first frame hook or something, you do run into the situation where you'll just miss it sometimes. So you'll see people not really go for first frame hooks, but maybe just early hooks. This is not the friendliest of patterns for Aganon. Moogle showing off more tricks that are not allowed. There we go.
Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah, welcome to Glitched Agaphites. The camera is displaced, but the sprites are not, so track of everything is not easy. You'll actually see them on the right-hand side of the screen sometimes. They can help get an idea. Oh no, Jump died.
Come on, Moogle. Yes, we got it.
Okay.
Now let's see who can beat and defeat Ganon faster.
Now, Moogle's health and magic situation for this Ganon fight, totally legal Ganon fight, are not exactly where you want them to be. But York is doing fine here on Ganon attempt number 2. Just gonna need to hope Ganon stops warping eventually so we can slash him a few more times. Please. Ganon. Now 12 spins to finish it off. Ganon not helping us out with the first one. Gonna lamp torch glitch here. Totally reasonable. At this point, the only goal is to finish.
Yep.
We're gonna try to light this torch from far away with using the fire rod to get 3 spins every time it's lit, which is not easy to do on a lot of warp patterns, but we'll see what happens here. This one might be a little bit tough, but yeah, almost had it. Just a frame or two late. This one also not gonna be possible. And GG's to York. And the game really not cooperating on Moogle's side, but so I guess we'll talk about the winner. Yawk gets to go on to play Apathy Duck in the next round, which Duck was second in his groups. That's, I guess I wasn't paying attention. Let's see, Moogle here will have a little bit before his opponent is decided in the loser's bracket. There's a couple matches that they're waiting on to play there, so figure that out eventually. He'll have a little bit of time off, or he can keep playing if he likes, whatever you want to do. I think we're still here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to get Yawk set up to join for the interview. Moogle, understandably, will not be joining us, I don't think.
Yeah, but here we have our winner, GG's York.
Thanks for the GGs. Oh boy. that was some weird stuff.
Yeah, were you watching it all? Or
no, I sadly I can't watch because my internet sucks so bad that as soon as I start a stream, I can't open any sites.
Well,
Wow.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into the VOD later, I think. Yeah, my ice palace though. Oh my god. Some runs die in ice palace, but today, like, a part of me died in ice palace. Oh boy,
yeah.
the bomb jump that never happens.
Yeah, now that I see your split names, Rip Icebreaker, that might give us an idea why.
I love Icebreaker. Yeah, died to Ganon because that bottom left pattern, I really need to practice that. Always, every time when Ganon gives me the bottom left bad pattern, then I screw something up.
Yeah, I think that one's the hardest because
Yeah.
you have to kind of walk a little bit out of your way to manip the trident to not hit you, and then you don't have too much time to get the last hits in.
Yeah, I might just try to do the dash, the dash strat there. Need to practice that.
Oh yeah, being outside the fire bats is also
Yeah.
not fun.
Oh
So,
well.
yeah.
What happened to Moogle? Where did Moogle die?
Ooh, what did
Vitreous
not happen to
twice.
Moogle?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and then Trinex. So
Yeah.
Yeah, damn, that cost so much time.
Yeah, he actually died to Vitreous twice. Still kept going, and yeah, then before Trinex, he tried a couple of hover attempts for the Trinex gap until he was low enough to get one shot by Trinex, which also unfortunately then happened. But in some miraculous way, he managed to crawl back and got back into GT very, very fast, and was some magical way managed to be in the Ganon fight. At the same time you were still fighting Ganon. I'm not sure how he managed to pull that one off, but still, of course, this was your win, and definitely it was super close. You guys were very, very close until Maya and until the Vitreous fight.
Oh.
So it was definitely very, very nice race.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into the VOD later.
Yeah, honestly thought you played pretty well. Obviously the Ganon death, a little bit rough. Ice Palace, not what you want, but yeah, pretty solid run.
Thanks.
And your next opponent is going to be Apathy Duck. Do you have any opinions on that at all?
Nope. I never watched him play. I remember Moogle. I remember Moogle grinding to cut him like last year sometime. I watched Moogle's grind to cut him, but I never watched Apathy Duck play.
Yeah, I haven't seen him streaming too much either. Honestly, don't tell him I said this, but I'm surprised he got second in his groups. So, no, he's pretty good, but yeah, I don't think he's played too much, so you'll have a chance.
Okay.
Kind of like Moogle does tend to die a little bit more than you'd like, so yeah.
Well,
I mean,
I do too. I do too.
Who's after that? Some guy who doesn't play this game called Blaine, who I think in his most recent runs has put down like a 132 and like a 129 or something.
Yeah, I'm a bit scared. Tournament Daddy.
But yeah, nice race. Any last thoughts or anything before we go?
Yeah, I didn't think I had even a chance today, but well, probably for Moogle it wasn't too much fun. So I don't know. I can't put myself into his shoes, but I wish Moogle good luck for his next race. Don't know who his opponent's gonna be. But yeah, hopefully the next runs will be a bit better for him.
It looks like they're waiting on a couple of matches to finish, but I think one of those is today. So we'll know in a little bit who his opponent might be. Yeah, I think with that, we'll hand it back over to ZSR to get us out of here.
Yep.
Yeah, congratulations to Yok for winning, GG's to Moogle for going slightly outside category restrictions there to make sure that we still had something to watch at the end. Thank you to our commentators, Dao TMB and Henry Fired, providing very entertaining commentary on this race. Coming up on ZSR, we have the OT Item Randomizer weekly at 7 PM Eastern on this channel, and half an hour after that at 7:30 is another race from this tournament. That's the round 3 winners bracket match between Misanthropic Buddha versus A0. I'm pretty sure I butchered that name, but that will be coming up on ZSR too. For information on that and other races coming up, you can keep an eye on our schedule. And yeah, with that, thanks for watching. Bye.